singing from the stands. Pure coys, everybody raise your hands. Pure coys, pure coys, pure coys.
Yes, welcome to Pure Coys. Thank you for joining me. As always, please like and please subscribe. I have a very special guest with me. It's Dan from the Spurs Danalist. How you doing, mate?
Hey, doing nice, mate. How are you?
I'm not bad. This was a pretty quick stream to set up. You literally give me a call and said, "Let's go live." So here we are.
Yeah, look, just I wanted to get some content out there before the game today after listening to what Ange had to say in the presser. We have some team news now. We know we've got a good idea of who's going to be playing both sides. So I just thought it'd be a good idea just to have a quick chat about the game today, the Ange presser, and yeah, we can take it from there, man.
Indeed, we can. So, yeah, obviously, because it's been so quickly set up, I haven't got absolutely nothing on me. So it's all going to be from the head.
Yeah.
What are we thinking today
So
regarding the
what
game?
look, look, before we go on to like predictive lineups, and now we've got a good idea of the injury news and who's not definitely not going to be playing. I think we
Yeah.
should have a look at the Ange presser yesterday. Did you watch it or hit or read it, Nige?
I saw bits of it, but not too much, to be honest. It's all been a bit manic.
Okay, so this is what I've read, and then what
Yeah.
we can do after every little segment, then we can discuss. For me, I think it's Ange again. He's coming up. He's starting to come up with the excuses. A load of mumbo jumbo I was listening to yesterday. Not convinced at all. He didn't sound confident in anything. He was kind of backtracking, going back and doubling down, I would say, on kind of on our current state. Um, so this is what Ange says in that presser yesterday, Nige. He starts to talk about he thinks we're a better team. Nige. He still stands by it. He still thinks he's a better team. He thinks, although the results don't show it and they haven't reflected on it, he still thinks that. What's your thoughts on that, Nige?
Um. Wow. I can see what he's saying in the fact that if you look at, you look at some stats. I mean, some stats say we're better, some stats say we're worse, but we are creating a lot of chances. We've scored the most goals in the Premier League. So if you look at those kind of stats, then yes, you could say we're improving, but also at the same time we've lost 5 and 11, which tells me we are not improving. What about you?
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, when he says reflection, um, maybe that's what he's pointing to the stats, certain performances from players. Um, but yeah, it depends how you want to look at it, isn't it? Like some people will just say, okay, they will go to that and say, look, there is improvements, whereas people like me and you and many others will be thinking, well, no, it's not improving. We look like a team that are well, nothing's got better, put it like that. Yes, we've
Yeah.
scored a lot of goals, we're conceding goals, but listen, I do think it's a drop off of performances. And I think Ange he is not learning from last season, and I'm not seeing anything different so far this year. Now, um, he was questioned quite a lot in this presser by the journalists, and they were talking. They asked him a question about this difficult period that we're in, and and then kind of Ange pointed towards the league that the league is very open at the moment. Like if you win, you can get into the top four. If you can lose, you can then drop into the bottom half of the table. Kind of pointing towards that there's still a lot to play for, I guess. Um, so in some sense, although we've been inconsistent, so are all the other teams, and we've had to be a little bit reliant on that. seasons past, you would have thought at this stage that a lot of teams would have kind of got a bit more consistency after the first 11 odd games. And you could kind of start to see that league taking shape. But this season, many teams have been inconsistent, not just Spurs. So we kind of pointed towards that. And then he also pointed towards the leaders in the team. And not just the likes of Son and Romero. He stated that we have other captains in the team. In Davis is a captain, Basuma's a captain, Deki, Kulusevski's a captain. And he's kind of pointing towards these guys to help the team improve that consistency. That's how I've taken it. What about you, Nige?
Yeah, very similar. I'm feeling very similar to you in that sense. I don't see where many improvements are coming, if I'm honest. We are still defensively naive, tactically not set up right. So I'm feeling pretty disillusioned with it all as a whole. Yes, we can be great in bursts. At times we could outplay a team for 20 minutes, score 3 or 4 goals, and the game's done. But for me, it's very much the same as last season. We don't look good. I don't know whether you managed to see any of the Chelsea game today.
No,
Um,
I didn't. I know
but
Chelsea were winning when I last looked at it. What is the score?
yeah, they won 2-1, but they were
2-1.
such a nice team to watch. Fluent football. They were really good, and you just watch them and you think, oh, I just love that to be Spurs. Um,
Did they
yeah,
look
they
in
just look
trouble
a
at
lot.
all in any part of the game, Nige? Did they look in trouble, Chelsea, or was it quite a controlled performance?
No, it was the most comfortable I've seen a team play for a long time. I know the scoreline probably suggested that it was close, but Chelsea were by far the better side. Could have had 5 or 6. It was yeah,
Okay,
they played really
very
well.
dominant.
Yeah,
And when we look back at our first game against Leicester, we had that fantastic first half. We started well in that second period half as well, and we were on top. We just couldn't get that second goal, but we let Leicester
yeah,
back in, and Leicester, to be honest, they could have nicked it. So look, I don't know what sort of form Leicester are in. To be honest, I know they're near the bottom, aren't they? So they're not in a
yeah.
good moment. But I'm not surprised with that result. Chelsea, they do have so much better team than Leicester, and they should be going to Leicester and winning with that team and the amount of money they spent. So look, but I get what you're saying, Nige. You're saying that you've watched a team today that look in control and look like there is some progression, and the new manager is making a difference, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And never really look like they're going to lose the game. Whereas Spurs can be they control the game in patches, don't they? They can be, like I say, good for 20 minutes, but they always give up a lot of chances. So you never really feel safe as a Spurs fan. That we're going to keep a clean sheet, or we're not going to concede chances. So yeah, I think that was the difference between watching Chelsea today and usually watching Spurs. It's just watching a different team and thinking, yeah, they play some really good stuff and they never really looked in danger. Whereas Spurs, you're always on the edge of your seat, which is why the neutrals love watching Tottenham, because it is edge of your seat football.
Yeah, but very true. And also talked about in the presser yesterday, because obviously is it 50th game today? Is that right? Or
I think so.
was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a milestone. And he was kind of looking ahead now. He was talking about the next 50 games to kind of show, if this team is improving, is getting better. I mean, both me and you and many others have doubts that it even last that another 50
Mm.
games. But that's what he's thinking in his head, that he's looking at this team will improve naturally over time. And then he was kind of saying, like, oh, I picked up this team. They were eighth in the league. There was a lot of squad changes, a lot of sales, a lot of new players bringing in a style of play that he's had to input into the squad. And maybe he's kind of saying that, patience is needed not directly to us, but the way he said that, he's either making excuses or he's kind of given a message to the fans that we do need to be patient and that this team is nowhere near where it needs to be under what he thinks.
Yeah, I mean, he said when he first come in, didn't he, that it's going to be a bumpy ride. There's going to be ups and downs. Um, but it's just how long you have to wait for these ups and downs to actually plateau out and us to start winning more than we're losing.
Yeah,
It's I've looked at our last 6 games, and I was going to do a video earlier, and I've looked at our last 6 games, and it's win one, lose one, win two, lose two. We are the most inconsistent side, and yeah, it's how long do we wait? How long do we wait, or how long can our patience last watching football when we just don't know what we're going to get? And I'm not sure as a fan that I've got that much patience left to give. I want to see improvements. It's been 18 months now, and I want to see better results and better away form.
yeah, that's what we're looking for. Um, then he went on to talk about the injury situation. Well, obviously, we all know now Romero came back injured. He shouldn't
Yeah,
even have gone, really. That was a big mistake, I think, as well. But Ange reckons he spoke to Romero and he's told him, you've got to rest up now. I think he said he's going to be back next week. And also, Romero's partners had a baby. Did you read that?
I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
congratulations. That's gonna keep him up at night.
So, no Romero. Obviously, we already know we haven't got Van der Ven. He doesn't look like he's going to be back until mid-December. He also mentioned injuries to, I think, Wilson as well. He's a longer term injury. We're not going to see him for a long time. Richie
Yeah,
back in the new year. So those are kind of longer term injuries. And then he was questioned about Van der Ven as well, Nige. He was asked about this, and one of the journalists put a question to him and said, like, you know, this is Van der Ven's third or fourth injury in the last 18 months playing for Spurs, the hamstring. And he's kind of putting it to Ange, like, how are you going to manage this differently? How's the medical team, guess, going to do things different? And he did acknowledge it, Ange. He did say that, we can't kind of rush him back. He needs to, when he's back, he needs to be ready because of this recurring injury. And then when I think about it, Nige, and it all links back to the summer transfer market when we didn't sign another centre back. We needed another left-sided centre back, preferably somebody with a bit of pace, so we could play the high line if he is absent. And
yeah,
we did see last season that he picked up that hamstring away to at home to Chelsea, didn't I, in that horrible game. And
yeah.
I don't know if he had another one later on that season. I think he may have had a couple. And if you look this season already, he's had one kind of around the same sort of time, Nige, isn't it? It's funny that, isn't it?
It was, yeah, literally 11 games in. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. And I think we've got to be really careful. Like you say, the transfer window was shocking, and we have got what, 4 players out, 5 players if you include Bentancur, and 2 of them are not even first team starters in Richarlison and Odebear. They'd be on the bench usually. So really, we've only got 2, 3 players out, and now our squad feels like it is absolutely at the bare bones. We
yeah.
literally have Davis and Dragic. Who have we got to come in if they get injured?
It's not good. And that when we talk about Van der Ven, it screams that transfer window, doesn't it? Absolutely screams that we didn't plan properly. We haven't managed it properly
Yeah,
at all. And look, we're going to miss him. Um, Following on from that, he was questioned about January signings. With the injuries that we have, are we going to
yeah,
be looking at going into the market? And his response was, the January market's difficult. I think he was kind of saying, not, he didn't say this, but if an opportunity arises, we might grab someone. And Nigel, when I think about this, it's just really disappointing to hear because we've all seen the team, we've seen the squad, we've seen our summer transfer window so far, and we all know that we need so much more into this squad. And a transfer window is a transfer window. I know it's not the main summer one, but it is an opportunity to improve the team, first 11 or squad wise. And for Ange to say that not a lot's going to happen just doesn't give me a lot of hope, really, going into that January transfer window. What do you think about that, Nige, about the January transfer window?
It's really frustrating, isn't it? Because, you know, as fans, we all want to see improvements. And like I say, with the players we've got out at the moment, the squad does feel like it is, about to break. We are threadbare. So if we don't improve in January, don't make any signings at all, and we get more injuries, I just can't see how we survive. As in, like, challenging for top six, top seven. I think it could be a really difficult season. We can only hope that players come back and they stay fit. It wouldn't surprise me if we do make a signing, or two, but it's just the quality again. What sort of quality are we going to be bringing in January? We'll
Yeah,
have to see, I guess. But yeah, I'm just really concerned about the squad at the moment, especially our centre half situation. With we lost Romero and Van der Ven last season, and we're kind of, as a fan, I thought, well, this won't happen again. We'll sign what we need, but we're in exactly the same position as we were last year.
exactly.
We've two of our main centre halves out, and we get another injury. Dragishin gets injured today, or Davis gets injured today. We're in
Yeah,
big. I can't believe I'm saying we're in trouble if Davis gets injured, but this is where we are.
it is. It is. And we all discussed this, pre-season when the season got going about that summer transfer window. Huge disappointment. Big up, Brian. Hope you're well.
Right?
How are you, man? Um, yeah, we will. We're always pointing back to that summer transfer window. It's just so frustrating, Nige. And Mikey Moore, he's got a virus at the moment, isn't he? Um, he's not ready. He can't get involved, which is disappointing as well, because that means all we have really to come on in an attacking sense is Werner, isn't it?
Hmm.
And we don't rate him at all. Who else is there, Nigel, on that bench today, for example? Who
This
else
is
is there who can come on?
this is it for me, and I think Adrian made a good point in one of the chats earlier on, and I thought I'd actually probably do the same, and that's I'd start Kulu out wide right, put Madison in the middle, start Kulu out wide right, because then at least it gives us an option of bringing Johnson off the bench later on. And then we've got a bit of pace in Werner and Johnson if need be. Listen, I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I did a stream with my son yesterday, I think, just a quick half hour, and we talked about the game. And he was very much like talking about defence. It doesn't matter who we got in defence, Romero, Van der Ven. It really doesn't matter because we're going to be under the cosh regardless. City are going to have all the ball, so it doesn't really matter who's playing that. It's Davis and Dragishin are competent enough. But yeah, certainly as far as subs go, I'd be tempted to start Kulu on the right, just so we got an extra body on the bench to bring on should we need one.
Yeah, no, I get that, and that is an option. And what we'll do, we'll get onto that. But when we've nearly finished this stream, we'll get onto who we think's going to start and them sort of options. But yeah, it's a good shout. Um, Going back onto the presser yesterday, just a little bit more to say. Andrew was also obviously questioned about the 9 games in 30 days, and he asked that one of the journalists asked Ange, if it comes around Christmas time, we're 10th in the league, how are the fans going to feel? And look, Ange was like, if we are around 10th in the league at around Christmas, it's not going to be good. He understands it. He understands that where we are in the league at the moment is not a good place. And he kind of said that he doesn't think we will be 10th place. He thinks we'll be higher. Well, we'll have to see, won't we, after the run of fixtures? But look, I just really worry about these games coming up, and unless we start getting some points, we are not really going to be going anywhere in that league. And I'm sure there will be teams that will start picking up some form and getting away from us in that league table. Such a crucial period ahead. Look, when I was listening to Ange yesterday, he just didn't give me much confidence that we are going to improve. It was kind of more hope rather than that he was guaranteeing that the team is going to get better. And look, I don't know what to say, man. What do you think? What you said there?
I kind of agree. I mean, obviously, you can never guarantee anything in life, but he didn't. Yeah, he didn't fill me with confidence with what he was saying. It was very much like like you say, hoping more than actually thinking. It's almost like what he was saying. He didn't believe himself. But
Yeah,
I
that's what
agree.
I felt, Nige. That's what I felt.
These next 6 or 7 games are like huge, so big. I mean, I know we say it all season, don't we? Every couple of games, the next six are massive. The next six, but I really think these next six. Forget about Forest second on Boxing Day. The next 6 league games, massive. You've already had Chelsea win today, so they poured more, further away from us. It'll be
Yeah,
interesting to see at 5:30 where we are in the league.
yeah,
Um, and
true,
I
true,
think
Nige. That's a good point.
10th is, saying we could be 10th. We could absolutely be 10th at Christmas. We could be 11th or 12th.
Could be lower,
We
yeah.
could be 5th or 6th. But, I think we will be around 9th or 10th by Christmas. And it's going to be interesting then to see what happens regarding Ange.
He said another thing as well, Nige. He says that if we'd have beaten Ipswich,
Mm.
about 2 weeks ago, we would have been sitting third in the league. And then he
Yeah.
kind of said, like, I would have had different questions asked of me, and things wouldn't have looked as bad as they have, as they do. Sorry. So it's kind of excuses again for Mange. I think, yeah, it just didn't inspire me at all. But he kind of did accept that he if we do continue to be kind of around mid-table, that he knows there's gonna be scrutiny. Um, yeah. So look, just following on a little bit more about that press conference. Um, they asked him a question about City and how have they become so successful. What a good job Pep's doing year in, year out. How how can Spurs as a team kind of inspire to be like that? It's very difficult, isn't it? Because number one, we don't spend the money on the
No.
top players, what Man City do. It's so difficult to compete with Man City. And the board, the recruitment team, they do not give Ange and this team a chance to compete. Don't they? So it's a kind of a question which is, do you know what I mean, Nigel? It's one of those questions where
Yeah.
we all know that when unless there's a sudden change in the way we
There's,
buy players, it's just a bit of a meaningless question.
there's just a
What is
massive,
it?
massive difference between City and Spurs. Obviously Pep knows how to set up teams. He's willing to change. He's adaptable. But also City, as much as they spend money, they don't spend massive amount of money. They don't go spending 100, well, obviously Grealish was 100 million, but they're not going out spending 150 million on players. Their recruitment is just really good. And they have a world class youth facility where they're bringing players through that would walk into the Spurs side.
Yeah, yeah, they do. Yeah, we saw them, didn't we, at our ground? They held
Mm.
their own, didn't they? They really held
Yeah.
their own when they played against us in the Carabao Cup a few weeks ago. So look, more questions were asked to Andrew around how's he going to fix that consistency, and said he was reflecting. He's been reflecting on it, and he was saying things like, "It just doesn't. I don't really understand what he's saying, Nige. It's like the team needs to show different. No, he needs to show the team different solutions. He's not going to sway away from his style of play. He made that very clear. He's not suddenly going to change. But what he wants
yeah,
to do is tell the team, or I don't know how you want to do it, new solutions. The team have got to find solutions. And then he pointed towards 3 games in this press conference. The game against Brighton, Palace, and Ipswich, saying that in those games the team did not have a solution. But no, Ange didn't have a solution either, Did he? He puts a lot on the
no,
players to find a solution, which I find so frustrating when he's the manager. He can give the team solutions, and you can talk back all those 3 games that Ange could have done lot of different things to get us back in the game, get us some points. It's also very confusing the way he manages, and I'm not happy about it, Nige. I'm not.
no. He it's kind of a double-edged sword because he trusts the players far too much, but at the same time, like you say, he's not prepared to change it when needed. So it's almost like though on one hand he trusts them, on the other hand he's chucking them under the bus because even though he can see it's
Yeah,
not working, he won't change it. He will just let them carry on. And yeah, I put all 3 of those defeats down to Ange because he didn't do anything to change any one of those games.
I agree. I agree. He lost us so many points this season, and it's an ongoing theme, isn't it?
Yeah,
Especially away from home, and now it's even happening at home when we lost to Ipswich, which I mean, none of us expected that result. Even the people who doubt Ange, his style of play, the team, everybody thought that would be a comfortable win.
mm,
But that was it was really bad, wasn't it? That match. Um, so look, let's talk about some of the injuries for the game. Are you okay to go on to that, Nige?
yeah, that's fine.
So when we look at the injuries and we look at, let's start off with Spurs going into this game. Benton Core, we know he's on a 7-game ban. Mikey
Yeah,
Moore's got a virus, so he's out. Richarlison's out. Wilson's out. So that's all the players out at the moment. We have Kulu, who had a fantastic international. He played well, didn't he? I think he scored and assisted or
yeah,
whatever. So he's in good form. So he's a bit of a shining light, and he normally plays quite well against City, doesn't he, Nige?
yeah. He tends to turn up. I saw a couple of streams this week calling the Etihad the Decky had, which I find a little bit cringeworthy, I got to say, but it is what it is. But yeah, he does tend to play well against City. You know, he's a player who does raise his game a lot of the time for the big teams. So hopefully Kulu will be on song today. I think there's no doubt he's been one of our best performers this season.
Yeah, we're going to need him today, and when we
Yeah,
go into the lineups in a minute, he's going to be a key player for us if we're going to get anything out of this match. Now for City, they've got a few players missing. Obviously, we all know about Rodri. He's on a long-term injury.
yeah,
Um, I think he had some treatment in Spain. He's come back now to the club to finish off his rehabilitation. He's out. Kovacic is out as well. So he's come back from international duty injured. He's going to be out for a month. Which, when Rodri's been missing, Kovacic has been quite a key for their team. He's this kind of similar type of player, good at keeping the ball,
yeah,
keeping the game ticking along, up and down. Good player he is. I like him. And Oscar Bobbs is out injured as well. So they haven't got loads out. They've got returning players in the likes of Doku, Grealish, De Bruyne. He's back as well. So let's just jump into the starting lineups. What I've been reading on newspapers
yeah,
and predictive lineups. I'm going to read out the team, which I think this is what the press are saying. But then I'm going to give another lineup where I think Pep what he will do, and then you can give me your thoughts on it as well. So let's start
yeah,
off with City. So this is the lineup I think they're going to go with today. So they're going to have Ederson in goal, going to have Walker, Stones, Akanji, and Guardiola. Yeah, he's going to play left back. They're going to have possibly a midfield two of Gundogan and Lewis, with Bernardo Silva, Foden, Nunes, and Haaland. So that's the City lineup. Initial thoughts, Nige, on that?
Terrifying. Yeah, that's a scary. We're just talking about Rodri and Kovacic being out. And when he said that, I'm like, oh, okay, we might have a chance. And then you've just said, Gundogan in the centre midfield. It's like, oh well. City are just so strong, so strong. Yeah, I think that will pretty much be their lineup. Wouldn't surprise me if Docker or Grealish started, but we'll see. Yeah, listen, if Haaland's fit is a terrifying thought, but yeah, let's get on to
Look,
the Spurs thing.
let's talk about that midfield for City, because it is they are lacking a player in there, aren't they? You know, they're lacking Rodri. We know that they've missed him this season. Kovacic has done well. Okay. I'm not sure where the games went wrong for them in the last four games when they've lost four in a row. Um, Obviously, we were one of the teams that beat them. So that midfield, you got Lewis, who's a young player, is good at keeping the ball. Not many big tacklers in there, though, is there, Nige? Is that a possible, if we are looking at kind of opportunities to get anything out of this game, is that an area where Ange and the team needs to focus on?
I think we got to get close enough to them for us to be able to tackle them. I just think they're just so far superior. That's such they're passable so quickly. I think Lewis is a really good player, really good young
Yeah, he
player.
is.
Um, yeah, I
Is there
just
a little chance to you, Nige, though? Because when I look at teams and I see players missing, I'm always looking at, okay, so look, can we take advantage of that? I'm not saying we're going to win. I'm not saying we're going to outplay them at all, but I'm looking at little small chances of getting anything out of this match, and that is an area where I don't think they're at their best.
no, I absolutely think there's a chance we can get to them, 100%. I mean, we've got to them. We seem to get to them every season at the Etihad. So 100%, they're going to have a lot of the ball. They're going to have a lot of the ball in our half. If we stay compact, then we have the pace to catch them on the break. There's no doubt about that. We've scored 7 goals from transitions this season.
Yeah,
So if we can get the ball quickly off them and get the ball over the top to Sonny Johnson if he's playing Solanke, I think we've got every chance to trouble them. My concern is whether we've got enough to keep them out.
yeah. So there's questions that we have to be clinical. History has shown that we have been very clinical at their ground and at home when we played them. Look,
Yeah,
we haven't got Kane. We're relying on Solanke. Big game for him against a big team away from home. Um, if we look at Solanke, uh, the games he's played for us so far this season, where have we played away from home where he's done well in a bigger match, like a top six match?
well, you could
Was
say
it Man United?
played yeah, he played pretty well against United, and I think that's just a good team performance. Though I think he did well
Yeah,
first half against Brighton. Um, but yeah, other than that, listen, we spoke about it before. Our away form is turgid, so
it is.
you know we, we have to improve today. We have to be at our very best, and hope that City have an off day. I think.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So going back to the City lineup, and I said I that's what I'm reading, what they're going to
Yeah,
do. But I think that they may do something different. But the problem is Pep going to throw in these players that have come back from injury into the team straight away? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I know Nunes gave us a hell of a time in the home game in the Carabao Cup.
yeah,
He played very well that game, didn't he? He got a goal and he was dangerous.
yeah,
Um, you look at, you know, was it Savinho? Is that right,
yeah,
Nige?
yeah, yeah.
Savinho, who had a fantastic game as well. I mean, if I was Pep, I would be starting him all day long because he's
Mm.
such a dangerous player who can take a man on, beat a low block if we are going to sit in. tonight. Um, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does throw in another winger into the team. And but he has the option, hasn't he, Nigel? You know, if it isn't working, if they're not breaking us down, then he has options to come off the bench, and it's quite scary. It's quite scary if you think about it, Nigel. De Bruyne, imagine bringing either De Bruyne, Savinho, Doku, and Grealish off the bench.
Oh,
They
I know.
tell you what, they have some options, haven't they? They have some options. So look, let's see the lineup later and see what Pep does. But you know, it is going to be a very difficult game. City, they've lost 4 in a row. Are they going to lose 5 in a row? I just can't see it. They haven't lost at home. I can't even say how long. It's definitely over a year. I think the last time they dropped points at home was, I don't know if it was last season or the season before when Brentford got a result there, a
Mm.
late winner. I think it was Tony. So they
Brentford
don't
or
lose at
Palace?
home. They, sorry,
Is it
what'd you say?
Brentford or Palace? Brentford or
I
Palace? They
heard
lost to
Brentford.
Palace as well, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm not sure when that one was, but when I was reading an article about it, they definitely said it was Brentford was the
Okay.
team that beat them there, which was a very, very long time ago. So look, let's just jump into the Spurs lineup. Um, I think this is going to be the lineup, and Nigel, you please tell me what you think. Vicario, Porro, Radu, Ben Davies, the doggy, the back, then the midfield of Sarr, Basuma, Kulu, with Johnson, Solanke, and Son. So when I've looked at kind of match previews on newspaper articles, just stuff on social media, that's quite looking like quite a favourable starting lineup. What do you think of that, Nige?
It's pretty much the side I'd go for. Like I say, the only slight change maybe he might make is bringing Kulu into onto the right and bringing Madison into the middle. But I just don't see him starting Madison. I think he needs Kulu's legs in midfield. You know, Kulu will get up and down. He won't stop all day. So yeah, I think that's going to be pretty much the side. And is it going to be good enough? I don't know. But listen, it's a massive game, and it's a chance now for the Spurs players to right a wrong of the Ipswich game, and get us back on track.
So, and then we look at the subs bench. There's likes of Lancashire on there, Werner. Who else is on there, Nige? On the sub bench. Who else have we got on there?
This is it,
Um,
isn't it? Because most of them have been
there's
spent.
not a lot. Is the young centre back on there, Dorrington maybe?
It's going to be a really young, inexperienced bench, I would think. Obviously, we've not really got enough mid. Bergvall, is he fit? I suppose he
Yeah,
comes back in.
Bergvall, he'll be on the bench. We don't have any game changers, have
Don't
we?
have, that's the problem. We
And
have
this is
no
what I
game changer.
mean. The squad building in the summer. Yes, we have some
Yeah,
injuries. Look,
shocking.
and we got Bentancur suspended. One, two, three, four, four, one, two. Yeah, 5 players missing.
Mm.
It's just very weak, isn't it? You're
It is.
relying on the youngsters to come on.
Yeah, five injuries or 5 players out shouldn't derail a squad like it has. You're absolutely right. We have got literally youngsters on the bench. The only game changer we have on the bench is a player that none of us actually want at the club, and that's Werner. It's a sad indictment of our transfer window, sadly, and you know, but it is what it is. We all knew as fans that if we got a couple of injuries, a couple of players out, this would be what we'd have. And sadly, it's happened as we go into a really, really busy Christmas period with massive games and massive cup games. So we will see
Gray
what
as
happens,
well,
I guess.
Nige. Gray will be on the bench probably.
Yeah, yeah. But again, he's hardly played a minute of first team football, has he, in the Premier League? So yeah, it's concerning.
Look, it doesn't look good, does it? And not enough, in my opinion, is talked about that transfer window. Not enough. Um, is there a I think there might be a couple of comments in the chat, Nige. Should we read them up?
guys. I just see us conceding within the first 10 minutes and our heads will drop. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't
No,
surprise me
it
at
wouldn't.
all.
It wouldn't. Ashraj, big up to you, man. Hope you're good.
Big up, mate.
Um, it's one of those games where I'm not looking forward to it, to be honest. I'm just praying that we just don't get thrashed. A bit more about the game. My thoughts on it is that I'm not expecting anything from this game. I'm really not. I'm kind of looking ahead to the other games coming up for us to kind of win
Yeah.
and try and get some points. So for me, what I'm looking at in this game is what about Madison? We completely forgot about him, Nige. He's a game changer, possibly.
Well, kind
Uh,
of. Well, come on for a
Kind
minute
of.
to go, wasn't he?
Yeah,
You know,
that's him
Andrew
as well.
Brigham
We
on late.
completely forgot. We haven't seen him lately, so we're kind of forgetting
No.
about him. But look, um, what I'm looking for is over this last 2 weeks, what has Ange been doing? Has he is he coming up with a new way, few new ideas, adjusting the team, learning when we play away from home? Is he going to set the team up any differently? Are we going to see a change? So that's what I'm going to be looking at. I'm going to be watching closely these players as well to see if they're going to be behind the manager. Are they going to be getting stuck in, fighting for the ball, showing some pride? Because I'll tell you what, if they don't turn up, we could get absolutely trounced. Absolutely trounced.
Yeah. No,
So
I
look,
agree.
I
I would
so
go on, mate.
yeah, sorry, you've got carry on, Nigel.
No, I totally agree. I said before the Galatasaray game, you know, I was expecting us to lose, but it's the manner of the performance, and I'm the same today. I'm not expecting anything, but I am expecting a performance. I'm expecting the players who play to die for the shirt, to bleed for the shirt, chuck themselves in the way of shots, block anything they can. I'm expecting a bit of pride today from the players. And if they just roll over and get their belly tickled, I won't be happy at all.
Yeah, so that's it really. That's what I'm looking at those two things to see what happens. And look, I'm not looking forward to it. Though it's a very wet day. It's the sort of
Mm.
day where you know players can just have a shot and see. You know, so the ball's going to be
Yeah,
going everywhere, isn't it? It's going to be bouncing everywhere.
absolutely.
Test the goalie. If you're around that kind of penalty area, just have a go because it's we could score that, and the same with Man City. But look, Simply Ace has come up in the chat. If we lose so badly, it will affect our confidence probably over the next 5 or 6 games. It is likely to have a knock-on effect. Big up, Simply Ace. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, you're spot on there. If we do get battered 5 or 6, then that will affect the players' confidence. You know, we've got to pray that we don't get any more injuries as well. It's the sort of game where it's going to be slippery, ball's going to be everywhere. Uh, how are we going to survive this match? Look, it's going to tell us a lot, Nige, isn't it? This game, it's going to tell us a lot about the team. I mean, I don't think there's anybody thinking that we're going to get anything out of this. I know I've heard a lot of people say that, oh, we've got a fantastic record against Man City, but I'm
Mm.
sorry, we're not in a good moment. We're so inconsistent. We haven't got our strongest lineup. We're weak at the back. City need to put in a performance for their fans because they've lost 4 in a row. It's all looking towards a City win. I just can't see it, even though with our good form against City over the years. Would you agree, Nige?
Yes, I think City are under so much pressure today, which is why I think Pep's going to go really strong. I really think City are going to be at the races today. As far as Spurs go, I seem to remember playing them last season around the same time, early December, and we weren't
Yeah.
on a good run then either, but we managed to pull off a result. So I'm not too concerned about our form because I think we tend to up our game against City. But this is a huge game. And just a comment from Ashraf, Dan, not just the players, we also need to keep a close eye on Ange because he said in the presser that he will be adapting, which is interesting. It'd be interesting to see how he adapts today and whether he actually changes anything.
Yeah, Ashraf, this is what we were talking when you joined the stream. We were talking about the presser at the beginning, and that Ange says he needs to adapt, but he wasn't very. He was still kind of saying like, I'm not going to change my style of play. Yes, there needs to be some adjustments, but it just didn't sound convincing. It did not, but it's a good point you made there. We will be watching Ange today, Ange watch, and we'll be seeing what he does and how he manages this game. And if things are not going well, are you going to change it, Ange, or are you just going to stand on the sideline and do nothing? We want to see something from you, Ange. You're under pressure. You don't sound confident in your job. So look, let's see what you do today, man. We will be all watching closely and watching these players as well.
Absolutely. And Simply Ace says Ange won't adapt. He lies constantly in his press conferences, which is true. He just kind of changed what he says, doesn't he? He says one thing, then the next week he says something completely different. I think Ange watch on Tuesday evening on Beyond the Lane is going to be an interesting one.
It definitely will. It definitely will. Yeah, he lies constantly in the press conferences. Yeah, Ange for me, you know all how I feel about Ange. I just don't think he's good enough to manage Spurs. I'm not seeing enough from him. He's lost us so many points. He went along with that transfer window, and he shouldn't have. He should have said he should have demanded better players, experienced players, players who are going to help this team in the first team and the squad. And it's a massive failure. And you can just see it. You can just see it in the results this season, the performances. Yes, we have had a few good games where we've blown teams away, but on the whole, we're just not getting better, in my opinion.
No.
So look, Nige, let's just go for a few more minutes because I've got to get on with something. Final thoughts on the match, and anybody in the chat?
Um, Final thoughts: defend well. Don't give them any chances. They're going to create enough of their own. Let's not make any mistakes. Let's be solid. And I just want to see the players bleed for the shirt, and I want to see Ange change it if it's not going well, not just stand there.
And how we're going to stop Haaland?
Um, we're not. I just hope he has an off day. Yeah,
It's a simple answer there, wasn't it, Nige? We're not. And
yeah,
if he's up against Ben Davis, he's got the height on him. He's got the pace on him. But he's got the pace as well on Radu. I mean, Ange
yeah,
better not play that high line. Look at this, Simply Ace massacred. Look,
yeah.
it is all pointed towards that. We're we are going to get spanked. Yeah, look, I worry. I really do worry about today, guys. It is just kind of what's that word? Control, damage control, isn't it? Really. And if
Definitely.
Man City are on it, if they are on it and play like we know they can, oh,
Could
we're
get
in some big
nasty.
trouble. Yeah, it could get
Yeah.
nasty. And look, uh, okay, let me ask the people in the chat and Nige this question. How upset will you be if we lose this game?
I won't be upset as such because I'm expecting us to lose. But as I've said before, the manner of defeat will upset me if we don't put in a performance, or if Ange doesn't do what I want him to do and change things if things are going badly. So it's not about the defeat. I'm expecting to lose. It's about the performance for me.
It's the manner, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like against Galatasaray, it was the
yeah,
way we lost that game. Absolutely battered. Yeah,
yeah,
so yeah, look, yeah, we'll see after the game. And then we've got another game coming up against Roma in the Europa League at home. So the games are coming thick and fast. I think there's a game every week now, isn't there? The weekend in midweek as well. I think there's a Premier League game midweek after the week after. So look, the games are coming thick and fast.
yeah.
There won't be too much time to dwell on a loss. We'll be looking at the next fixtures coming up. Look, yeah, I think we will lose today. I don't have any hope to be honest. But look, let's see. As seasons passed, last season we thought we'd get battered, and we came back with a 3-3 with a Royale and Davis in the back. You just
Exactly.
never know. But we're not going to be lucky like that again. I just think we don't have any luck. Luck's run out, and look, we'll just have to see what happens come 5:30, and yeah, we'll be hiding behind the sofas.
Absolutely.
Another Haaland hat trick. I hope you got him in your fantasy football team today.
I haven't. I might put a little acca on Haaland hat trick.
Yeah.
Even that's probably 2-1 on. But
Lot of comments coming up in the chat, Nige. So Simply Ace is expected for us to lose. It's a free hit. Performance is key. Spot on, Simply Ace. That's what we're saying. Performance is key. Or is the team going to show some pride for the badge today? Are they going to try? I can. That will make me happy if I can see that. If I can see them trying, working hard, winning the 50-50s, trying to be playing with a bit of discipline, trying to score, trying to put some good moves together.
yeah,
I'm happy with that if I can see that. But if I see something not like that, then I won't be happy. If I don't see
no.
commitment, if I don't see pride, I'll be pushing again and out after the game.
Yeah, that's all we ask for, isn't it? Is a bit of pride and a performance. But this is, for me, this is how sad it's become. We support Tottenham Hotspur, for me, the greatest team in the land, and we are talking about the fact that we know we're going to get beat, and it's just a question of playing with pride. For me, that sounds like a relegation fodder team. But Simply A saying, "I want Ange gone now."
Yeah,
We
I
share
do, and
your
and
yeah,
yeah, we do. We share it simply as what? Because I know you've watched our shows. We want him gone. We want a manager to come in and sort this lot out and give us a chance this season. There's still all to play for. There's still enough time. The trouble is because of the league table and that we're not away from that kind of European positions yet, and we're still in the cups. Levy's not going to roll the dice yet. But if we get spanked
no,
today, we lose against Fulham at home, then surely he's got to go. He's got to. We can't lose it against Fulham. Definitely not.
yeah. I think
But
it's
we
going to
will
be.
see.
I think it's going to be a bit of winning and losing for the next couple of weeks, and it'll be more like when we get to Bournemouth, Man United, and then Liverpool and Chelsea is where Ange could be in trouble.
Yeah, it could simply change. Jay Ashraf, their movement will kill us. Hate to say 4-1 to them. Yeah, that's my prediction as well. I've made a prediction of 4-1. Nigel, what was yours?
Well, I said being positive, 2-0 to City, but my feelings it could be 5.
The more you
I don't
talk
even think the
about it,
score
the
will be.
more you think about it, it's just looking like it's going to be that's really a real tough game today and a defeat.
Yeah,
I just can't see us. I just don't see us. We just don't have we don't have the what's it called? The character in this team at the moment. We just don't
no,
have it. We lack a lot of character, especially away from home. And Ange is
agreed.
looking clueless, isn't he? To be honest, he is. He's looking like a manager who's feeling the pressure and doesn't have any answers.
He looks out of his depth now for me. He's so this is why today's going to be really interesting because this is a massive game for him, and it'd be interesting to see how he reacts to it.
It will. Right,
Simply
Nige,
Ace
I've
in
got to
five
shoot.
two. Yeah, okay,
5-2.
buddy.
Yeah. Um, are you jumping off too, or are you staying on?
Yeah, no, I got Edith in the other room, so I better go and see if she's all right. But yeah, thank you for joining us, everyone.
Yeah.
And hopefully Spurs win, but we all probably know what the result will be. Take care, Dan. Enjoy work,
Yeah.
and I
Take care,
will.
everybody. And I
I'll
know
see you
I can't
Tuesday.
even say enjoy the game. It's just damage control, isn't it?
Try to enjoy it. That's it. That's it. Take care, all.
Speak to you all later. Bye.